What's up, my dudes? Got my main event from Denver. I wanted to come in here and make a pretty special video, something that I've really wanted to do for a while, talking about the never giving up on MX Simulator. It's such an important thing, and I really wanted to dive into it here. So this race right here was probably like the worst finish I've ever had with one of the best rides I feel like I've ever had. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I rode really, really well in this main event, but so many little things happened to where the finish didn't really show for it. But let me go ahead and start it right here, and I'll just talk through it. But yeah, man, I pride myself on being able to honestly say that I have never quit a real life dirt bike motocross race ever before. I've never just quit one, and I've also never quit a MX Simulator race either. Like, I hold that to a very high level, a high meaning. I hold it on a pedestal. It means a lot to me to not quit a race. You know what I mean? I don't care what happens in it. I don't care if you fall down 69,000 times. I don't care. Like, you do not quit the race, dog. You know, I've always kind of been brought up with that sort of mindset. Doesn't matter what happens. Yo, what's up, Fresco? Damn. But it's like, you know, I don't care. Like, I'm never going to just pull off the track and quit a race. Now, there has been a couple times where I literally got knocked out, woke up in the hospital in real life. And, of course, I can't really, you know, get back on the track when I wake up in the hospital after having a concussion. So that's happened a couple times. And I did actually have a GNCC trail race where I literally got totally lost in the woods for like 3.5 extra hours just riding through the woods because they didn't even have one of the little arrow banner things up. And so I like never even saw it and wasn't even on the actual track and just got lost in the woods. And then I finally, like 2-3 hours later, I got back to the start straight and I was like, well, shit, the race is pretty much over. So those are the only two like little type of occasions where I won't, you know, come across the finish line. But I never just pull off and quit, ever, never. I will never, ever do that. You will never see me just, I don't care if I'm in an LCQ, dead ass last, 20 seconds back. I'm not going to just pull over and quit because if you even have that mental state of mind to be capable of doing that, then you're not in the right state of mind to even race, period. And, you know, you're never going to make it in a long-term main event race situation if you have that like kind of quitter mindset. It's never going to work because, yeah, so basically 9 times out of 10, something bad luck wise is going to happen in a, you know, a main event, like a 20-minute plus 1 lap main event, especially on a game like MX Simulator. A lot of times it's just hard to avoid it. I don't care who you are. I don't care how fast you are. I don't care how smart of a racer you are. A lot of times it's just hard to avoid it because of the way the game is. You got certain people playing in third person, some people playing in first person. You got front end lock. You got dudes that shouldn't be hitting quads trying to hit quads. You got all this crazy stuff going on, and so it kind of just happens, you know what I mean? But you have to have that never give up attitude, and that's why this year, this is going to be the first year that I at least attempt to race in every single you know, Supercross and national race, which I've never done that before. I've never actually raced in every single one of them. I never gave up and quit on one, but there has been a lot of years where I just like haven't raced a couple of the outdoor races or haven't raced all of the Supercross races. So I really want to dedicate the time and at least race every single one of them and get that experience. And that's a big part to this guide right here, is the experience that you get in these pro races. It's 1,000 times more worth it just to race it out and finish it than it is to quit, because you're getting, no matter what position you're in, it's way better to do that and get that racing experience, because you just can't get this feeling anywhere else. You know, you cannot get this pro racing feeling anywhere else. It's almost impossible to even train for. Like, it really is. There's one of those occasions I was already in there and he cut to the inside, couldn't do anything about it. Had the dude slam me in that one corner twice in 2 corners before that. I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, obviously I'm quite a bit quicker than most of these guys back here, but sometimes that's just, it's tough to get around people on MX Simulator. I don't care how fast you are. It's hard to do it sometimes. So it just happens. And, you know, you can have all the thought in the world and think you're this and think you're that and think you're super fast or whatever, and life can just fucking give you the lemons, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it seems impossible to make that lemonade out of it, but sometimes you just got to got to figure out a way, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to finish dead last, and I ain't going to finish dead last, and if I pull over and quit, then I've basically finished dead last. So I don't want to do that, you know? So, but dude, I was freaking nailing this one huge-ass quad rhythm through here, like midways through this race. Look at this, dude. Oh my God, I felt like I was hitting that. That was like, I think one of the first times I actually went for it, messed up just a little bit, but I started hitting it really consistent once I got through here a little bit. Had my own little mistake right there. It's hard to not, like once you have a bunch of little collision moments at the beginning, a bunch of wrecks, it's hard to not have a wreck of your own because you get out of your flow and you get out of your momentum and just hitting your lines every lap, and that's such an important part to the racing. But then if you don't keep up with that front pack, whether it be you dismount in the first corner or whatever the case may be, then you start getting lapped. Then it's like a whole different kind of race, you know. Then you have to let off. Then you have to try to not run into people. Then you kind of have to sort of slow down, get out of the way in certain occasions. So it can be very difficult to get your grounds back together. That dude hit me in that corner again. I don't know what some of these dudes do in the back. Like, I don't know what they're doing. It like just keeps running into me. That pisses me off so much when someone runs into you in a corner, and it's like one of those kind of corners where you really need to be hitting a big ass line out of it, which means you need to go far on the outside, and someone just like goes up the inside, like has no regard on hitting the big line coming out of there. It's like, what are you trying to do, dog? You want us to just sit in the back from now until the end of time? Like, quit running out the inside of me, dude. Come in behind me and actually hit the fucking triple in, bro. But goddamn, and then here we are again. But you guys know me. I'm not a pussy. I'm not gonna protest. I'm not that kind of guy at all. Like, you can run into me any way you want to. I mean, I'm one of those kind of guys. It's racing. Do whatever you want to do in a corner. I just don't understand some people's logic when they were literally battling for 21st place and he runs up the inside of me. And literally in his mind, like, there's no way you can hit that triple in out of that corner if you're going to run into me like that. I don't know. I guess he just wasn't even hitting that triple in. I'm not sure, like, what's going on there. But either way, that can be frustrating every once in a while. But finally got out of that little weird situation. I think I don't know if that was that same dude that ran into me like 2 or 3 times in the corner there, or if it was one of these other guys in like 20th or 19th or whatnot. But yeah, dude, sometimes it just doesn't matter what you do. The luck is not on your side. There's just sometimes it's going to be that way, and then it's so hard to catch back up at that point. So hard to get back going because it kills every bit of your momentum and what you're doing and all that, and it can be very difficult. But if I could give one piece of advice, it's never give up, bro. Never, ever, ever give up. You know, you never want to let your mind start going down that rabbit hole, because then it's like you give up on everything, you know. So you got to have that mental state of like, do not give up on anything. Push till the very bitter end. Don't matter what happens. Give it everything you got the whole way through the damn race, you know. And that's really all you can do. So yeah, I kind of had to get out of the way a little bit right here. My result obviously would have been way better had I not had to pull over to let the leaders and all the other guys go by, being a lap down. Makes it basically impossible to catch back up to a top 10 once you start getting lapped, because like I'm saying, you can go as fast as you want to go and literally start getting back on the speed of the leaders, and it don't really matter because then you got to slow back down and not, I mean, even like right here, I passed both the leaders back, right? And there was a couple occasions where those dudes weren't even hitting these big lines, and I was hitting them right behind them. So, but then I had to just purposely slow down to not run into them. But yeah, that's just what I'm trying to say. You know, even me, I mean, you guys know I've gotten top 5s in main events and all that. I've actually crossed the finish line in 4th in a main event before, but and so like obviously me running back here in 20th is not where I should be. But it can happen to anybody. Like, I'm just saying, it can happen to anybody. It just all depends on who decides to run into you and how they run into you. I was having a lot of close racing right there in the front. In that one corner, that guy just dug it in a little too far, and then kind of got into me, and we got off kilter, kind of got that weird, like, MX Simulator trying to rebalance yourself type shit. So triple right there. Just did a standard triple onto the table there. And there. And then that other dude ran into me in that one corner. Such weird play in this game where you think like other people are playing with third person, but you're playing with first person, so it makes it really bizarre and like hard not to wreck when you're trying to avoid people that are in third person, right? And they can see everywhere, but you can only see right in front of you. So, but it is such an important aspect. I mean, there's been a lot of occasions where I've been really, really far in the back, and I've made some massive gains in races just by not giving up. You know, that's really, I've done that a lot. I mean, when it comes to the 450 Supercross in MX Simulator, you just about have to have certain things kind of go your way, especially at the start of the race. Like if you have some weird little full dismount pop-offs, there's not a whole lot you can do because you're going to lose like 20, 30 seconds before you can even say Bob's your uncle. And what are you going to do about it? Lay down and cry? Like, no, you're going to get on that fucking gas, bro. But all you can really pull out at that point is probably like a 15th or worse if you're, you know, if you're dismounting in the first corner. And if you have like two or three dismounts there at the beginning, your race is pretty much over. But you can certainly get it up there to like a 15th or something like that, you know, and at least salvage something out of it. But especially when you start racing outdoors, I mean, you know, when you have some wrecks like that, it's hard to even get up into the points, like to get any points, which obviously you guys know is top 20 in the outdoor racing. So, but that's one of those kind of races where you got to never give up too, because you can always gain more positions. But when you are like in the field really racing the guys, you can definitely, right there towards the end, you see when a lot of people start giving up. You kind of see that, like, or people get comfortable. I don't know what it is. Right around that, like, last 5 laps of the race, a lot of times you'll see the guys, they'll start going a little bit slower. It's like they won't be pushing as hard as they were at the beginning of the race. They kind of, I don't know if it's like they just kind of get in a acceptance of their position mode or what it is, but you can make a lot of passes on them last 5 laps, dog. Like, sometimes you won't think you could, and you'll be, like, running 10th, and then all of a sudden you, like, it's like the last 5 laps, and then you're, like, running 4th, and you're like, what the hell just happened? You know, it's like, you wouldn't think you'd be able to catch that through that many people, but a lot happens in the last 5 laps, man. I mean, I've had so many races this year where the road has just ate my ass up on the last 5 laps. I mean, I'd be running so good, like top 5s, top 10s in a lot of these races on the last 5 laps, and it would just, I'd get a kicker, I'd get some weird little erode pop off of something, and then it would cause me to wreck. And then in the 450 class, all it takes is one wreck, and if you're up in the pack, you're going to go back like 5 positions off of one wreck. So that can make it pretty difficult. But other than that, I just wanted to come in here and make this video, just to let you guys know, you know, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the points leader. I don't care if you're the Johnny PP Pants in 22nd place, not doing shit, but running into Spencer over and over and over. I don't care who you are, right? You never give up. You keep pushing, keep riding hard. I think that is something that happens a little bit, though. Like certain people that are in a little bit more in the back of the main event, like some of those, you know, beginner pro guys, they don't really understand certain aspects of the overall race scale and like certain things you need to be doing. Like one thing you don't need to be doing is running it up on the inside of 21st place in a corner where you need to be hitting a big triple, or you're going to be losing time to the leaders and get lapped. You know, certain little things like that. I feel like a lot of beginner guys in this game don't really understand exactly what they're doing. And I think some people try to go for that pass when there's literally no physical way that it could possibly happen. You know what I mean? It's like they see just the smallest little % of a hair of an opening to try to pass you, and there's no way that would ever happen, but they just go for it anyways. Like when any little chance they get to try to pass you, they just instantly go for it instead of like trying to race you, you know, and trying to like make calculated passes. A lot of times they just go straight for your front end to try to hit you with that front end lock. And a lot of times with MX Simulator, there's not even really racing. It's just like people trying to take your front end out. And because of the way the front end lock is, where you can't really control it once it starts to hit that, that's a lot of people race that way in this game. So, but it just kind of is what it is. And if you have some of those instances or occasions, it'll put you on the ground. And when you dismount on MX Sim, it's a pickle, dog. I mean, like I've always said, in that first corner, if you have a full dismount crash, I'm not talking about you roll it over and just, you can like kind of pull it back up. I'm talking about you pop plumb off the bike and your guy has to totally pick the bike back up and go through the whole motion. Then if you have just one of those in the first corner, you're putting yourself at about a, I would say 50% disadvantage. You're putting yourself at about like a twice as much of a disadvantage by doing that versus just not wrecking in the corner and just rolling out of the corner in like 15th or something. You know, you're 1,000 times better off rolling out of the corner, first corner like that versus dismounting, because once you dismount, you're basically in dead last. And then at that point, it's not like everybody's that far ahead of you, because they're really not. Everybody's still pretty compact there at the beginning, but you have to avoid all those weird MX Simulator wreck moments, you know what I mean? Like coming over a jump and somebody being wrecked, or like the victim of circumstance, or whatever the hell Ricky Carmichael says. It's times 10 on MX Simulator than what it is in real life. It really is. It's because like I'm saying, you know, people ride totally different in this game as far as like passing people and collision and all that. They ride completely different in this game than they would in real life. Like, they're just going to go for the jugular in every corner on every situation. It does not matter. Ain't nobody really rides like respectable in this game. There's not really any of that shit. And it ain't just me. You know, I see it time and time again. Everybody seems to ride that way. I don't personally pass people like that. If you looked at the beginning of my one main event there, a couple races back, maybe just been one race back, right there at like this third or fourth corner, I didn't run it all the way into the guy. I just kind of like bounced off of him just a little bit. I could have ran it in there so much harder. But I look at it like, if you're going to run it in there hard on somebody, like, you got to understand, you better be doing that in an occasion where it's like last lap for the win, or it's probably going to hurt both of you. That's what I don't understand, why people race like that on this game. I mean, I know why they do it, because they basically use you as the corner in a flat corner and bounce off you and make you get front end lock, and they don't get anything. They just kind of, you know, ricochet off you, but you're still losing time, dudes. Dudes that like pass people like that, you do realize you're still losing a little bit of time. You might be gaining one position, but you're losing overall time by passing people like that. I don't even know how the hell I wrecked right there. But what I'm trying to get across to you, I think I got hit again right here. That put me bad. I was like right there battling. I could have got a 15, 14, 13th. That's what ended it all right there. And then, you know, and then barely pop off of a triple, and someone run into me over the triple and making me instantly pop off again. That whole kind of vibe. So that can happen to you too. But yeah, there's going to be times where it just feels like you're on this never-ending uphill battle in a race, and that's just the way it is sometimes, dude. I mean, it just goes on and on and on right here, you know. But you have two choices. You can either give up or you can finish the race. What are you going to do? Are you going to be a bitch or are you going to be a cowboy? Which one? Like, you know, it just, that's what it comes down to. That's the way I look at it with the protest of MX Simulator. It's like, when someone runs into you, it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be a bitch or you're gonna be a cowboy? Like, you got two choices there. You're gonna protest over nothing. You're gonna cry about something that happens in literally every single race of MX Simulator. Like, you're gonna bitch and moan about shit that's not even, like, come on, dog. You're gonna protest? Like, really? I do not understand people that protest in this game. I really don't. I just don't get it. It's like, give it back to them in the next race. Do something. Don't try to, like, bring the officials into it. I kind of look at protesting like calling the cops. That's what I look at it like on MXM. Like, we don't do that shit, dog. We don't call the cops, you know. It's the Wild West out here, boy. Like, that's the way I look at. Let it be handled on the track. Don't let officials start getting involved, and like that's really not the way to go about doing it, unless somebody's doing something just absolutely, you know, just crazy bad, like a lapper's being just, you know, super terrible, blowing people off the track and punting people and stuff like that. Then the officials should be able to realize that, okay, we got a crazy dude on our hands. Let's black flag him in the race or something. That's one occasion where someone could get taken out of the race like that, but not just like, oh, he ran into me a little too hard, or, oh, he got up and I ran into him because he got up a little bit, not 1,000,000,000% straight, and I ran into him. You know, that's not worthy of protesting. Like, it's just not. Or he got up in a corner and turned in a corner, so I'm going to get mad and protest him, and hopefully he gets banned for a week. It's like, what? I just don't get it, you know? I do not get why people do that. But that's why I've never protested anybody, never have, never will. You know, that's just the way I am. So anybody that tries to protest me, it's like, bitch, I ain't never protested anybody. And I've had bullshit happen. I've had lappers do dumbass shit. When I was in the very front of one of my best races ever, I had a lapper just get up totally sideways in a straightaway and just ride straight into me. I've had it happen time and time again. They've done, people, like I said, it happens in every race. So if you want to get real particular, then everybody would be suspended in every race, because everybody does something stupid in every race that's, you know, potentially suspendable offenses. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at. So, but yeah, dude. Either way, just had a rough one here, boys. Had a couple little times where I was really getting out of that corner right there before the whoops, super fast, shifting up to 5th into that eroded rut right there. So that was cool. Hitting that hard a couple times, hitting that big-ass rhythm over there quite a few times. Just this whole track in general, I was struggling a little bit with. I felt like I was like just a half a tick off on it, you know? Just wasn't quite. This whole rhythm right here was a little bizarre. It was kind of one of those where it was like, hit it smaller to go faster, which I never seem to do really good on those. I do better on lines that are hit it big and you actually get a benefit out of it, not the ones that are like, oh, hey, there's a quad, but it's not going to actually save you any time. You might as well do like a triple on-off table, small-ass rhythm to actually gain the time here. So, but yeah, boys, at the end of the day, sometimes all you can do is all you can do, and that's all you can do. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes you just have to accept what it is. You can't try to like grow fairy wings and hit the NOS button all of a sudden when there's just, you can only do so much. I guess what I'm trying to say, you know, you can only do so much in a race. You can only do so much what you have. So, you know, if 17th is the best you can do, then 17th is the best you can do. I mean, you imagine somebody in real life. That's the different thing about real life and MX Sim as well. You couldn't crash like this many times in real life and even finish the damn thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, it would be a whole different type of racing if, like, there was injuries and stuff like that in this game. It would be just a totally different animal. But it just creates this system of when you have a lot of pop-off moments, like, you just lose so much time in the 450 class. Like, just insane levels of time here. So, but kind of is what it is, man. But I just wanted to come in here and make this. Felt like I rode really well once I started getting it going there. I mean, catch back from 22nd, way in the back, time-wise, like way off the main pack. Catch all the way back up to damn near 15th and had 14th, 13th, 12th right there, you know. Pretty tough to do that when you get this far back. But you can just never give up on this game, or in real-life riding too, you know. It goes for all different kinds of stuff, dude. Never give up on it. That's the key. You know, that is the whole key to it. So, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later.